All right, guys, Shotty T here. We got another video. We do not have an update this week, but I figured this would be a good opportunity to talk about some announcements here, and it's pertaining to season 5 mostly. So make sure, of course, depending on what season you're in, make sure you're checking the latest announcement because sometimes some of this stuff will come out before the actual updates come. Of course, the latest is the the Desert Brawl frequently asked questions. And just so you guys know, we are not going to be doing that. So, unfortunately, if you want to watch some Desert Brawl footage, you may have to, I'm pretty sure some other channels that may show some of that activity. We're going to continue to do our regular Desert Storm stuff on our end. So, you got a lot of cool stuff in here. Now, as far as season 5 goes, let's check this out. So, right off the bat, no faction wars. So, for those that, just to kind of give you guys a little history lesson, the faction wars got introduced in season 2, and then it's been present in season 3 and season 4. So, it looks like season 5, you're just fighting for your war zone. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like what season 1 was, which I wasn't the biggest fan of because you had people outsiders coming into your server and fighting. But that was at a different time where the server that I was previously in didn't have the most unity. So I guess if you're in a more unified server, it might be more fun. But we'll see how this goes. But apparently the war map is huge, and we'll talk more about that in this video. So it gives you a little timeline. You get declare war on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So it's kind of like when you had faction wars, they were also on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So I'm assuming the Wild West takes place like if it's structured like other seasons. You got your first seasons of development with the cities that open up early on, and then you just work your way towards the capital. And then after that, I'm assuming the Wild West happens, but we'll find out more about that once we actually get into the season. But the cool, interesting thing is that the battlefield is now 9 times larger than before. So it's a lot of real estate because in certain maps, especially in season 4, you had some good places where alliances can place themselves around mountains or lakes where you physically can't place a base there. So it's kind of like it's camped into an area. So hopefully there'll be some more strategic places where you don't have to put yourself in the corner, because that's usually how most alliances kind of align themselves, in the corner. But it looks like there's more friendly placement that's available. So we'll see when that map comes out. And then you got different rules of battle and cross warzone trade trains. So again, all this stuff, when it comes out, we'll definitely talk more about that. But I want to highlight a couple of things just from a visual standpoint. There's a FAQ. So this is the map. So I'm going to zoom in here so you kind of see it better. So it's set up in like 9 sections, and this kind of talks about the different sections closer, but I'm just kind of zoom in. So you got your capital city, you got all the different cities there, you got outposts, trading posts, and different capital areas. So we got in one map you had one capital. Now you got 9 different capital areas, well, 8 capital areas and a gold rush city. So they said that I was reading here, it's the equivalent of 9 season 0 maps. So what does map 0 look like? I still have a visual because I have time. I have different bookmarks in different war zones. So this is what season 0 maps looks like. Okay. And this might bring some nostalgia to some of you guys, because this is when I first started on the game. We had this map that looked just like this. You guys remember there's the chemical plant, the casino, the Capitol military base. So it was this is an old school map. So imagine this size map, but 9 times bigger. So, okay, so you see how big this map is. So multiply that times 9. That's apparently how big the season 5 map. So it's going to be a huge map. I tried to look at the oldest server that I have in my bookmarks, and I didn't see that they were in season 5 yet. They're still got the season 4 map. So unfortunately, I couldn't get like a visual preview. So they still got the same map that we got in the off season. So we'll find out when we get closer to that. But that's pretty crazy. So let's go back to this here. Uh, it was a couple other things that I saw in here. So you got the safe zone, non-exclusive territory. Players from other servers can enter, but cannot capture cities. And then you got the core rule: capture rights are limited to the server that selects this area. The restrictions is on ownership, not entry. And then kills are still counted on kill day, which again, I'm pretty sure they'll explain that. Siege attacks and awards are available, but the final capture belongs only to the server corresponding to the safe zone. So I'm I'm excited about just a different change, just to see what's gonna happen with the season 5 mechanism. So if you're a fan of, I mean, it's Last War, so this will be like mano a mano strategy. So I think we're gonna really see what the definition of Last War is all about when it comes to this. So I think it really doesn't matter the strength of your server. Of course, if you got allies, great. But since there are no factions, it's almost like every alliance for themselves. But we'll just, or every server for themselves, so to speak. So, but we'll see once we get into the details to see if there's any semblance of a inter-server unification that takes place in this. So what do you guys think about season 5? I mean, like I said, at the very least, it's still a month away. But it's kind of like throwing a teaser out there just to kind of get you in the mindset for it. So what you want to do between now and then is to just continue to progress your accounts. Of course, if you can get this, my goal is to see if I can get the tier 11 troops by then, but I don't think that's going to happen. Like I'm still at phase 2 of the tier 11 group. I'm just not buying this stuff. So it is what it is. If I'm not there by then, maybe by the time we get to the Wild West part of season 5, maybe I'll have tier 11 troops by that point. So just let me know in the comment section what you think about that. And for those that, I know the football stuff, it was a little slump the last 2 picks that I gave. I'm only going to give 1 pick tonight that I feel is pretty confident about. So we have to kind of figure out what other picks you want to put. But you have the 49ers playing against the Rams. The 49ers got a mass unit. They got pretty much almost all their offensive people out tonight. You got Purdy's out, Jennings out, Pearsall is out, Kittle's been out. So you pretty much got the healthiest people are their running backs. So my prop to pick is not McCaffrey, because that's too easy. And usually his receiving yards is usually a safe bet. So if you want to go McCaffrey, go with his receiving props or scoring a touchdown. But a safe prop I like is Brian Robinson's rushing yards. The prop is currently at 20.5. He's hit at least 24 yards in every game this season. And with all these people out, they're going to probably lean on him more, especially with McCaffrey coming off a short week and having 31 touches in week 4. So Brian Robinson, book it. I'm going to place that wager tonight, and I'm going to try to put like a 3-man parlay. I got some other ideas. Like I said, I gave you one with McCaffrey and probably Matthew Stafford 1.5 touchdowns. So if you want a parlay to put together. But that'll do it, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll talk to you later.